Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Hi, Kashalia. Yo, Stefan. Yeah, man. Beanie's back. Here's Messi, Beanie's back. Here is Messi, Beanie's back. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can, but your video's
But
not
you cannot
working.
see me. I know. Okay, wait.
Yeah. I
This
think you
this
probably
happened
have to like
before as
leave.
well. Oh my
It's
God.
okay. I've done like 130 of these, and I know what
You
the
you
problem
be
is.
you know the
Uh,
process now? Okay. So should I leave and come back or what should I do?
Leave, like close your Instagram, like completely close your Instagram, and
Ah,
like
okay,
reopen
okay.
it, and then come back.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it, got it.
Okay.
Be back.
Technical difficulties, guys. So I'm having Romaine Willis on the show today to start things off. We're going to learn all about her, what she does, talk about topical discussions, as you guys know that I do. And yeah, just have a good time. Until she comes back, how are you guys doing? How is your... What day is it? Is it Tuesday? No, it's Monday. Is it Monday? I think it's Monday. I'm going to go with Monday. Um, But yeah, a few people sent a few messages. I'm sorry I missed that. Hey Andy, hey Shami. How is it going? It is freezing. Like I got my beanie on, I got my jacket on, I got my socks on. Socks. Um, it's Monday. Yes, my bad.
Happen again
Okay,
or no?
again. Okay, so this time, don't leave. Just like click your home button and then
Okay.
open up Instagram.
Oh, nice. Okay. You need to make maybe like a tutorial on
I swear
live
to God.
sessions. Seriously,
How
I
to?
was struggling so much last time I did a live video. I was like, oh my God, I'm embarrassing myself in front of so many people.
So I've done this with 100 and I think 35 guests now in like 32 days. So 31 days. So
Amazing,
like,
amazing.
so
Damn.
I know all the bugs and all the little things that could mess everything up.
Nice,
But yeah,
nice.
Romain, thank you so much for getting back to me and making the time to come today. How have you been? How's your
Uh,
day been to get things started?
I've been good. I haven't done much today, honestly. I just woke up, did some yoga, made a breakfast bowl, and that's about it. Kind of waited for this to happen.
Amazing, amazing. So, Romain, I'm actually super excited because one of my friends actually sent her profile to your profile to me, and then she recently sent the song that you uploaded with your sister, the show that you did, and
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
shit, you can see. Like I'm like a big fan of music. My mom and late
Oh
father
man.
were both singers. Music
Oh
calms the
wow.
soul
Do
for
you also
me.
sing?
I will never do it on a live session or in public. I'm more of like a sing in
That's
the
what
shower type guy.
that's what good singers usually say. They always say that. So I know this. If your mom and dad were singers, so obviously it's inside of you. Maybe we'll
in
get him to
in
sing
my in
today.
my heart, I think the apple fell away far away from the tree.
Oh.
So, but yeah, let's get started. So, Romaine, for the people who don't know, she's a singer, a performer, and songwriter. She performs with different bands, but she also performs with her sister, and they have their own Instagram page as well. But Romaine, thank you so much for making the time today. I'm super excited to get to know you better. Why don't you tell us how you
Thank
came to
you.
be? How was singing with your sister becoming a thing? I know that you made her hop and broke her teeth. So how did she ever agree to sing with you?
I mean, we've done a lot of horrible things to each other. It's a two-way thing, okay? So when you are sisters and you literally spend your whole life growing up together, like you end up accidentally or purposely doing really horrible things to each other. So she has quite. I'm a forgiver. Like I don't remember things that well. Like if somebody does something horrible, like I forgive and I move on, and I don't even remember that anymore. But my sister's not like that. She remembers really well. She has a really good memory. It's a blessing and a curse. But moving on to the singing bit. So my parents, like you said, even my parents are really into music. They love music. They were never musicians. They're not musicians even now. But there was always music playing in and around the house. Oh, my sister joined. Hi.
Hi, Romaine.
So yeah, me and her, we always had like, music was like such an important part of our lives. And my dad would always force us to sing when we were really young. Whenever like family came over, like make us dance, and it came to a point that we really hated it. We were like, Dad, no, we don't want to dance anymore. We don't want to sing anymore. Let us be. And then we grew up and we chose this career. Like he was a bit like, whoa. You know, I thought you guys were going to get like a real job. And then we're like, wait, you know, you encouraged this and you kind of turned us into little performers since we were like kids. And here we are embracing who we are. So, but yeah.
Amazing. And like, I was just about to say, like, when someone forces you to do something over and over again, you just start to hate it. But the thing is, you made a career out of it. Like you performed. You performed in different stages. You worked with different organizations like PETA Effect. One of the chat people said as well. But like, I want to ask, like, how did you know that it could be made a career? When was that switch in your head where you were just like, okay, maybe I can actually make a living out of this?
Yeah. Okay. So this happened. Okay, where do I start? Wow. So right after uni, I was honestly I was already doing music. Like I was with a private choir, and we were doing weddings and like, you know, corporate stuff, but nothing on a big scale. Just very, you know, little events and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't get paid much. Like I got like $1,000 for singing for an hour or two. So that's how we got paid back then. And then
it's like $8, I guess. It's all about perspective.
So it's not bad, right? Honestly, yeah. For a kid, I was so happy with that money. Like that was a lot. But compared to the way I get paid now, it's obviously a big upgrade. You know what I mean? So anyway, I joined a hotel and I was working with them for about a year for sales. And I enjoyed it. The people were great. I was treated really well. Like, I loved everything about the job. But I could not still give up singing. No matter how tired I was, I would get off around 6 o'clock in the evening. And then I would go for my gig at 7 and sing till 12. And then wake up at 5 a.m. the next day. And I would do this over and over and over and over again. And it came to a point that I would sit in my chair and I would wait for work to be over so I could just go and sing. Like, the highlight of my day was the singing part. And then I was like, okay, no, I need to listen to myself. Like, I am not happy. I'm just not happy. I'm like kind of going through sort of torture just to get to the end of the day. And I quit my job. I had to. And they were really understanding. I was very honest about it. And I didn't tell my parents before I did that. So I was a bit like, okay, how do I break it to them, make it as smooth as possible? But I think I gave a really good speech. I was really prepared. I was telling them, like, if I was going to keep doing this, I could. But I would end up becoming depressed or turning into a really sad human being. And that's not what I wanted. Because if I was going to do that job, I'm only going to, please my parents or please somebody else but myself, you know. So I had to make that decision, and they were also okay with it. They were obviously not like excited about it. They were like, okay, fine, let's see where this goes. So here I am.
Amazing. And I want to actually ask, I'm a big fan of Minesh. Have you heard of him before?
Minesh.
Minesh.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I'm a big fan of Vinesh, and like when I had him on the show, he was talking about all the behind the scene work that goes on because he hasn't quit his job, right? So he works a 9 to 5, and then he
Oh
edits
wow, yeah.
videos or goes to gig, and then he sleeps for maybe
Wow.
like 3 to 4 hours, does it all over again, right? So I want
Wow.
to know, obviously, with singing, performing, there's practice, there's rehearsals, there's so many things that go behind the scenes. Can you tell us a bit about that? Like, what is it like behind the performer, especially for yourself, or even you can speak to Charmaine as well when you perform with her? How much work
Yeah.
goes into it?
Okay. So for me, um, it's a bit different because I'm a full-time musician. So I'm full-time with the band called Flame. I sing with them at least 3 to 5 times a week. Um, so I'm obviously trying to do my own thing also outside of Flame, and they're very supportive. They understand that things would have been really different if I had a difficult band that was very possessive with their artists, you know. But they're very open-minded about it, and they're very supportive. So that makes my job so much easier. So what it's like, yes. So what I do and my sister is doing is quite different. Even though it's the same industry, the work that goes into it, the background work is quite different. So for me, actually, it's a bit easier because my manager does, like when it comes to the band, right? My manager does half the work. He gets the client, he gets to know the time and place. I just show up, I get paid, and I come home. So that is a bit easier than the solo gig scene. So solo gig scene, you need to find your clients, you need to promote yourself, you need to work on yourself, you need to put an act together. And sometimes it's a big production, big performance, like dance troops and props, and like you have to be moving and talking and entertaining the crowd. But when it's a band, there's like 6 or 7 people there to help you do your job, you know. And even if you mess up, you smile about it, you laugh about it, you talk, and like, you know, work through it. But so for me, to kind of break into the solo scene was a bit of a challenge because I was very comfortable standing in one place, holding my mic and singing the song, not talking too much to the crowd. Like, I was very comfortable there and I was happy there, right? And my sister would always tell me, like, get out of that, come. I mean, not leave the band, do that, but at the same time, like, explore a little bit. Like, there's so many options, and like, you are able to creatively express yourself in other ways. And she was like, just move a little, you know, feel a bit confident, you're beautiful, don't worry about what other people think, and all these things really helped me to break into that scene. And because she was around, I think the transition was really smooth for me as well, because she's worked with the same people that I'm working, dance troops to sound people, to everybody. Like, she introduced me to them, like they already knew who I was when I walked into the room. So things were so much easier for me. So the credit definitely goes to my sister. So, but yeah, whether it's easy or not, still there's a lot of effort that goes into it. Like, with the band, I think I suffered a little bit because I went from not singing that often to singing almost every day, at least 15 to 20 songs. And that was so difficult for me. Like, my vocal cords were suffering. I would get infections. I'd be sick all the time, like physically sick as well, because event scene is not as, like, you know, easy as it looks. Like, there's a lot of work that goes behind it, and things change, schedules change, things don't go according to plan, and there's so much stress sometimes. They sometimes decide to start earlier than they planned to begin it. Like, so many things go on. So you need to be very flexible, and you need to welcome that change, like, with open arms, without like fighting it and being frustrated. No, you promised that. I need this. You know what I mean? Just be very, you know, easygoing with the whole process. That
Absolutely.
helps.
No, that's incredible. Like, because that's what we don't hear, right? We don't hear about the work that goes on behind the scene. Like, whenever we go
Yeah.
to a particular place like Cinnamon or whatever it is, we see a bunch of people perform, we enjoy the music, but we don't really think twice about how much work goes behind it. So I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
want to talk about, like, how do you keep yourself sane? Like, there will be moments where you're just like so overwhelmed, you're doing three to
Oh
five
wow.
nights of performance. Like you said, like, you're physically tired, you're just like mentally drained.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, maybe I just want like 2 weeks of not doing anything at
Oh.
all. But the thing is, when you're working freelance, you need to keep the money flowing, right? You need to keep the money
Yes,
coming in
absolutely. Yeah.
to pay your
And you
bills,
and you
look
need
after yourself.
yeah, yeah. And you need to keep doing new things to help people remember that someone like you exists in the industry, and that's one of the most difficult things as an artist, I feel, because you're always pressured to do better or do the most creative thing or find like the most interesting concept to get most people to, enjoy your content. So there's obviously pressure there. So what I think is, no matter what you do, even if you're stressed or even if you're hungry or you're angry or you're stressed or you're depressed or whatever it is, you need to give time for yourself. Just like you give time for that job and making money, all that stuff's important, absolutely important. But according to my opinion, I think what's more important than anything else is your mental health. And if you don't feel good, what a lot of people do is they find distractions. They say, okay, I don't feel so good, friends come over, let's just go clubbing. I mean, it's fun. I've done it. It's beautiful. But then again, that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you sort out what's in here. It's going to distract you for a couple hours maybe. But it's going to come back again and probably more harsh this time, So I think no matter what you do, it's important to sit down and collect your thoughts and really listen to yourself and be your best friend. Like, okay, Romaine, like, honestly, you look like a creep sometimes, but you need to talk to yourself, because if you're going to be your enemy, your life's going to be so horrible. You need to be your best friend and be like, okay, Romaine, what are you feeling? Are you anxious? Are you depressed? Are you sad? Then what is triggering that? Like, just ask, like, which situation, what person triggered that? And what can you do to fix that? And sometimes you cannot do anything at all to fix it. You just need to acknowledge that something like this is going on and what you should continue doing and what you shouldn't. And you just move on. But if it is possible to be controlled by you, then obviously you do whatever you can and forget about what you can't do, because the only thing you can control is the internal things that's going on. You cannot control the external like that. If you want to gain control, you're going to lose your mind, because you're going to be so frustrated when things change and don't go according to your plan. So I think no matter what you do, no matter how busy you get, no matter how many plans you have, if you take a moment to listen to yourself and love yourself and be your friend and give yourself what you truly want, not externally, but like, in a mental and emotional level, I think you'll be healthy, and it helps with the stress a lot. That's something
amazing.
I learned.
And I can, if I may add to it, like, I truly believe that the only two things you can truly control are your body and your mind. Everything else is up in the air, right? Everything can change in an instant. Nobody predicted a pandemic like this to come through. Now we're all adjusting, right?
Exactly.
And as a mental health advocate myself, I've been suicidal 3 times in my life. I've gone through depression. I've been going to therapy for like a year and 8 months at this point. But like, I'm very open to it because thank you. But I'm very open to it because I know that other people are going through this. It's just that when we talk about it, we normalize the situation a lot more. And I really think that distractions are a good thing. Like, absolutely. Like, when I first started going through depression, I distracted myself. I went to festivals. I went traveling around Melbourne. So I'm starting in Melbourne right now. And I just distracted myself. But then sitting with your thoughts is the hardest thing you can do, because it's the most uncomfortable thing you can do, right? Because your thoughts are valid at that point, and all of these dark thoughts that are in your head, you have to accept, and you have to literally self-reflect, right? But the thing is, all of those things are good, but like you said, if you don't take action towards making change, nothing's going to happen, right? Because the only person who truly has control of making change happen is yourself. Your friends and family and relationships, they can help you, they can support you and give you a support system, or even your therapist. Well, like for me, it was my therapist. But like, you have to make actionable change to make it happen.
I believe in that so much. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very true.
So like, I wanna ask you, what are your thoughts on like taboo discussions in Sri Lanka? Because I just want to deep dive into, for example, people don't talk about mental health a lot. Like, when I came to Australia, I was just blown away because it's such an open conversation. The help is there. Sri Lanka, the help is there as well, but it's not openly discussed. So I'm like trying to like take a hammer and start cracking away at it, right?
I love that. Please do that. Yeah. I
I will.
think I absolutely believe in what you're saying, because I believe that I also fought depression, but I didn't even know that I had it. Like, now that I've grown up and I'm doing my research, I'm like, oh my God, I was suffering from depression. And there was nobody to talk to me about it and tell me, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. This is something everybody goes through, and you're fighting something. You are resisting change. And obviously the reasons are different for each person. For me, it was like I had major insecurities. I didn't like the way I looked, or the way I was, like I had so much self-hatred, and the expectations I had for myself was so unrealistic that I kept disappointing myself, and it was such a vicious cycle, right? Like, I mean, baby steps every day. That's what I do now. Like, I have big dreams, but then again, I don't put that pressure on myself. Like, oh my God, like, if you don't do that, you're a loser. Because now, this whole pandemic, with us being stuck at homes, like, it's important to be productive. I'm telling you, it's very important to be productive. But I feel like it's turning into a bit of like a competition, like who's more productive. And it tests you, because when it first happened, I was like, oh my God, this big break that I've always wanted is here. Like, because I was working really hard. I was actually wishing for, it's so funny, right? So since I was really tired and working really, really hard, I actually started wishing that the whole world would close down for a moment and everyone would get to be at home and not do anything. And it became true. And now I'm like, whoa, oopsie.
Romaine, if you have
Be
this
careful what you
superpower,
wish
let me tell
for.
you, I have a few
I,
requests that I can ask and wish for as well.
Ask away. Oh my God. So, I mean, it literally happened. And I'm just sitting in my bed and I open my Instagram, and everyone's working out and keep cooking their favorite food, and people are like doing really productive things. And I'm like looking at myself, and I'm still in bed at 12. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what's wrong with you? I actually start to like look at myself like I am less than everybody else. And I was like, whoa, snap. I have to correct myself, like snap out of it. And I told myself the last thing I do is check my Instagram when I wake up. Don't check Instagram. Obviously, you check your alarm and you wake up, you go, you wash your face, you have your breakfast, you do your yoga, and then you get to check your phone. And that literally helped, because when you start your day and you see somebody's amazing vacation, or they've gone hiking into the forest and they're having such a beautiful time during this quarantine, and you're just stuck at home, you start your whole day on like that vibe, that like, oh man, nothing is enough. Like, I need that to change, this to change. I'm not happy with what I have right now. And I feel like that's not a good place to start your day. So anyway, yeah, we were talking about how mental health is not an openly spoken about topic in Sri Lanka. And I completely believe that, because I said I fought depression and I didn't even know it, and I overcome it. Thank God it didn't go into a really bad place that I couldn't come back from. Like, my parents were always there, and they were like, why are you crying in your room till like 3 a.m.? Like, what? You cannot do that. It just doesn't make sense. Like, and it made me realize, like, this is not the way to be. Like, it's not okay for a teenager to be crying like all night, every night, and like not get enough sleep. And I had really bad eating habits. Like, I think it was mostly like emotional eating. Whenever I felt bad, coming back to distractions, right? It would distract me for a moment at least and make me feel good. So these little things, I had to like really go deep inside and think, okay, if I cannot control what's going on outside of me, what are the things that I can control? Like, even with the food, or even with the movies that I watch, or even with who I follow on Instagram. Like, social media is such a big trigger these days. Like, I used to follow all these amazing models and fitness models with billions of money going on the best vacations. And I'm like, okay, it's beautiful to look at. But then later on, I felt like every time I got out of my Instagram, I would be so depressed and be like, okay, let's go back to it. Let's keep looking. And it wasn't good. And I had to go unfollow everybody that I was following. And I just follow the people that made me smile, made me feel good, and like even mental health and things like that I can learn, spirituality, and like things that would expand my mind. And that made such a huge difference, because whether we like to accept it or not, we spend a lot of time on social media, and the things we see on it really triggers you. Even during times like this, like the virus, the pandemic, it's important to be aware of what's going on around you. But there's a fine line between being aware and being obsessed. Like, oh, what's the biggest news now? What's going on? Who did that? Like, I stopped watching news completely. I cannot. I am not ignorant to it. Like, obviously, if there's something important enough, my mom would be the first one to call me and tell me, hey, this happened, that happened. So I do get my news, but I don't watch the news, and I unfollowed all these, like, people that would post heavily about the pandemic and things. I just needed, like, a refresh. Like, look at people that are doing creative things. Like, I saw Sukanna here says amen. Like, his content also helped.
He's one of my close friends.
Oh, sweet. He's awesome, man. I love his content. So things like that, things that add something to your life in a positive way.
Absolutely. And you have no idea how much I'm on the same wavelength as you. And if I may add, like, filter your life like you filter social media. If you can cut out toxic relationships, family members, friends, you can mute certain profiles. If you can't unfollow them and you feel better to unfollow them, you can mute them. You can do so many things. Like, for me, I was the most productive person in 2019 because it was a whole journey of self-awareness. And it led me to do, like, amazing things, right? But now I see so many productive people and just like, you know what? I don't want to learn anything new coming out of this. I just want to keep my sanity together, relax, lounge around and be lazy for a whole day.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn anything new. I love the gym. I haven't been working out regularly. I'm just like, you know what? I'm about me. I'm not trying to compete and be other people, And it's just like, every time someone's just like, hey, Sharon, what are you learning from COVID-19? I'm just like, I'm learning how to block the news. I'm learning how to sleep. I'm learning how to have dreams again because I didn't sleep properly those days, And I'm just like, yo, just do you. You don't, I mean,
and the art of doing nothing.
Absolutely. Doing nothing is doing something. Like,
honestly.
There, right? And I'm just like, look, if you want to be this productive person, do it. Like, good for you,
It's good
for my own sanity and my life, like, I don't have to compete with what you're doing or try to be like you or anything like that. I just have to be the best version of me. And if that means just surviving through this pandemic, that's just me surviving through this pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I just want to touch on another topic as well. So I'm going to put you on the spot, right? For me, I associate music with moods, right? So, like, if I'm going for a drive, I have different music. If I'm in the gym, I have different music. And, like, I remember when I did this public speaking thing in February, it was like one of the biggest moments in my life, and I played Frank Sinatra My Way on repeat over and over again before I went and did the speech. So, like, that set the mood for me. So, like, I want to know, what's a song that you'd always go to for happiness? What's a song you'd always go to for motivation? And what's a song you'd go towards for love?
Okay. Maybe not specific songs, but artists. I feel like if I want to feel like, just like, calm the hell down, like, just forget the world for a little bit, I really love John Mayer. He has this way of making you feel like you're in this field in, like, the perfect summer day, and everything's beautiful, the sun is out and the weather is gorgeous. Like, it puts me in that happy place. So I really love John Mayer's music, especially New Light is one of my favorite songs, and I always find myself dancing. I cannot stay in one place and listen to that song. I need to move. So I really love that song. Motivation, I think motivation, I would say Foster the People. I don't know if you know them. And they have a song called, they're amazing, right? And their song called Sit Next to Me. It's such, like, the beat itself gets me going. Like, I could work out for that. I could, like, go on a jog for that. Like, it's a really, really, really nice song. So I really like that also. That's about it, right? Sad songs? I don't really do that. I used to do that as
Romaine, there's a difference between sadness and love, okay?
Love. Okay, love. Okay, cool. Love. Maybe Pink Floyd. I think they're really like, I don't even know what the word is to use. It's a whole different level of music, I think. If you haven't listened to Pink Floyd, anyone that's listening, oh my God, just do that. That's like, I'm speechless. You need to. It's like a must listen. And it will always
Amazing.
lift you up, no matter what you're feeling. Trust me.
Amazing. I'll add mine as well because I'm just like tempted to. For me, if I have to say happiness, Billy Joel. If I have to
Hmm.
say motivation, Logic. He's a very soulful rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and if I have to say love, I would say Michael Bublé.
Oh, yes. That's so perfect. Michael Bublé for love. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I watched him live, and I was just like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
if I was gay, I would totally hit on this guy and like marry him.
Are you serious? His
Oh,
voice is
100%,
like,
Michael.
it's effortless. It's effortless, right? Like, there's
100%.
nobody out
And
there
he's a
like him.
showman. He does so well on stage.
I've never
He's
seen
so
him
funny and
like perform
charismatic.
live. Yeah? Oh, dude.
He's so charismatic. It's insane.
Who's the other
But
artist if you really wanted to go see somebody live?
I was supposed to go and see Backstreet Boys in May, but now it's cancelled.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
if I had to really see so here's the thing behind Logic. Like his story, he grew up with like a racist mom. He has been like bullied. He has had suicidal attempts and thoughts and all those things. But his rap is like super soulful and like he's very talented. So if I could watch him live, oh my god, I'd lose my mind.
would be
I would
amazing,
absolutely
huh?
lose my mind. But if I could go back in time, Frank Sinatra, hands down,
Hmm.
hands.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Romain, it's been an absolute
Yes.
honor having a chat with you. Thank you
Oh,
so
it's
much for
been
being
great.
open to like talking about like taboo topics and stuff like that. Obviously, not a lot of people are comfortable about it. I just have like two more
Yeah,
questions for you. One of
absolutely.
the things is a lot of people don't have supportive family, friends, and relationships around them. They normally have people who are just like, you need to grow up to be a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman. So kind of like how your parents thought you were gonna go. But
Mm.
like the thing is, you took that risk, right? But some people don't have the privilege to take that risk because they
Yeah.
are completely funded by their parents. They can't take the risk because they haven't established themselves in their brand. What are your biggest tips for people who want to be in performance or at least pursue their passion, whatever it may be?
Absolutely. Oh my God, that's such a good question. Um, so the key to finding your passion, like I was really lucky because it came quite easy to me. Like singing, it was quite obvious. I was like, okay, if that doesn't work, it's this. But for some people, it doesn't come that easy. Like they need to go through a lot of trauma, lot of bad things to find what they truly love and who they are and what their passion is. But through that journey, I mean, if you're meant to go through all that, you're gonna go through that. Whether no matter what you do, it's that is your journey. And sometimes people use trauma for amazing things. Like you went through something really horrible, but now you're using that to spread something positive into the world and help other people that's probably going through the same thing as you did, and they don't even know it. So trauma is not exactly a bad thing. So if you have to go through that, you know, you have to go through it. And what I believe is there are certain things that you do that just feeds your soul instantly. Like it doesn't have to be this amazing like singing or acting. No, it's like little things like gardening or like organizing things or even cleaning or little things and make you feel like I felt so good doing that, or helping somebody or advising somebody or talking to somebody about their problems and telling them, hey, you're not the only one, I'm here for you. Even that, those little words, that it makes you feel amazing. So I think finding your passion is about finding that one thing or those little things that make you feel so fulfilled on the inside. And when you talk to your parents or your friends about it, they'll be like, huh, you wanna turn that into your job? Like, I don't think people are making money doing that. Like, the newest job is this is the highest paid job, you need to get on this, you need to study that. And then when you're young and when you're not really strong on your own and you're not even allowed to have your own opinion, right? Because you're young and you're a teenager, you're not an adult. So you obviously have to listen to your parents or do what they want you to do. But my advice to like younger people is find what you want and follow that, and try your best to talk to your parents. Like Sri Lankan parents have this thing that they're very possessive when it comes to their kids. Like they already have a plan for their kids and they already know what the kids supposed to study and the job they're supposed to have, who they're supposed to marry. They've got it all planned out, but life is not going to happen according to a plan. And I was blessed with amazing parents that did understand my journey and like allowed me to, you know, explore. But some kids unfortunately don't get that. So what I'm telling you is like have an open conversation. Be honest. Tell them what it feels like to not be able to do what you truly want to do, you know. And I swear to God, 80 or 90% of the time they will support you. They're your parents. They're there because they love you and they just want the best for you. So I think what's important first thing is to find something that truly, you know, fulfills you and follow that and detach yourself from all the opinions of the world and your friends or, you know, whoever that cool celebrity you're following. You have to detach yourself from that because it's important. Like one important thing my sister told me was like, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to pour yourself before you pour into a different cup. And that's so important because even if you're going to do a job to please somebody else, at one point you're going to pop. You cannot do that for long. You cannot. You're going to lose yourself. But if you're going to find something that makes you happy, you're going to have so much to give because you're already fulfilled and you're going to have so much energy to do even the things that you don't want to do because you're fulfilled with like amazing energy. And I think that's so important for people to understand at a very young age. I wish they taught that in school. Because in school, I was very confused as a kid because I was not this kid that would sit down and do my math and like study science. I wasn't. I was like, let's go out and make some trouble and like break some things or play. I was this kid and I was not recognized by them. I was frowned upon and said like, you're different, you're weird, you know, you don't belong here, or that I'm influencing other kids in a wrong way. So I feel like I really struggled during school. And I'm pretty sure so many kids nowadays do. They get bullied, and not just by other students, by teachers as well. That's the sad thing. And for kids, what I have to say is like, express loudly. If you're hurt, if you're not happy, if you don't want to do something, just express and be open about it. And that would hopefully solve 50% of the problem.
No, absolutely. And I was one of those people who used to pour from an empty cup, and like I had to learn the hard way because I just imploded. Like you said, I just went. And then I was just like, why don't I give some of the kindness I give to other people to myself and see how that works? And that was much better. And being a kid who was bullied, like you said, I was bullied by teachers and school kids. I like learned the hard way that it's okay to be yourself. So like I completely get where you're coming from. So I just want to say.
Much. Yeah. And it takes
absolutely.
so much guts to be who you are in a world that's telling you be anything but yourself, you know? So props to you, man. Props to you. Amazing stuff.
Props to both of us. And I just want to say, like, if you're that 20% where your parents are not being supportive completely, even though you voiced it out and expressed it, please don't let go of your passion. Go to that job or be that person they want you to be, but at least hold on to your passion and keep working on it. And if you really, really work really hard, it'll come to a point where you can quit your job and pursue your passion, right? So just be ready for the hits that are coming, but just be ready to get back up as well. So, Romaine, it's been an absolute freaking honor talking to you. You are awesome. I have much love to Charmaine as well for joining and having viewing our chat. But I just want to thank you for taking your time. Keep being a superstar, and I can't wait to see you on an international scale because you truly have the talent. But before you go, I have one question that I ask all of my guests, and this show is all about helping one person have a less lonely day. And I want to ask you, this show is called Going Life for Kindness. So what does kindness mean to you in your life?
I think the way to a beautiful, fulfilled, and wonderful life happens when you build amazing connections with people, right? And I feel like that connection starts with kindness. Because if your intention is for selfish reasons, like, oh, I'm going to get close to this person because I need to get this done or that done, it's not a pure connection. And that connection breaks at some point, whether you like it or not, because good relationships are based on pure intentions. You know, I give and I give and I don't care if you give me back, you know. But the funny thing is, when you give from that perspective, it comes. It's called law of attraction. Do some research. It's beautiful. It does, because it's all about the intention at the end of the day. And not just to other people, to yourself. Oh my God, that's the most important thing. Like you said, you need to be kind to yourself. You need to talk to yourself with so much love and look at every situation with love. And it's going to make your life so much beautiful. Like even this pandemic, you have to change your perspective into looking at it with kindness. Like, it's okay. It's a big break for the environment. Oh my God, the environment is popping, it's living, and so many good things are happening. And just because we have to give up our freedom to let that happen, it's not so bad. It's only for a while, and we are going to get the chance to head out again, and everything's going to go back to maybe not normal, but it's going to go back to being good. And it's just for a little while, and I guess if you just change your perspective of how you look at things, your entire life's going to change. And kindness is so important, because the more you give, it's just going to come back. It's going to. But don't do it with that expectation. just be kind for the sake of it.
You're literally stealing all the words from my mouth. Like, I was literally,
Oh,
as soon as I was thinking intention, you said intention. As soon as I was thinking perspective, you said perspective.
Dude, we're vibing.
We are vibing. No, I'm just like super happy. No, the biggest thing that I've learned from these shows are the incredible people in Sri Lanka. And this show for the past 1 month and 2 weeks has like given me so much hope for our little island. Because there's amazing people
That's
who are
amazing.
thinking this way. And I think that it takes all of us to make a change happen. But Romaine, thank you. Thank you so much for making the time. If there's anything that I can do to support in future, just please feel free to reach out. Like I said, I don't do it with any expectations. I haven't been doing it for any of my guests who have reached out either. Before you leave, let us know where we can find you in terms of social media, any future interesting projects or music that's coming out, and any final thoughts.
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for choosing me to be here. I mean, I feel like we even built such a beautiful connection. It was so nice talking to you. I feel like you understood me on so many levels, and I hope the people that's watching also felt the same, and we could help y'all in any little way possible. And musically, yes, I recently started writing some music, writing music on my own, so that's a big step for me. And I've written about 6 to 7 English songs that I mean, this was supposed to be the year that I was going to release my EP, but I guess it's going to have to wait. Possibly for good reasons, everything in its own time. So there is new music coming for sure, and I'm working on some exciting projects with my sister. We've already put a couple things out already, and we've got about 3 songs coming out. That's in Sinhalese, actually, not just in English. So many things are going to happen. So stay tuned to my social media, and you guys will be updated.
Amazing. And any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I'm just grateful that I got this platform and to be able to speak about these beautiful things, because I've done a couple interviews, but it's very rare that you get to speak about things like this. It's all about, how, my journey or what I've done in my life or my future plans, but to really actually talk about things that I've been through, talk about things that I personally dealt. And I'm so sure that so many people out there are, facing them as well. And to be able to talk about these things, it's a beautiful platform. I felt so like free that I could tell everything and all my problems. And it's a good energy. It's a good vibe. And I just want to thank you and everyone that's listening. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you so much for calling in. Yeah. You fixed it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think these conversations are making people feel less alone, and making them know that their thoughts are valid. That's the biggest thing, because they don't feel like their thoughts are valid. So Romaine, thank you so freaking much. Have a beautiful day ahead. I cannot wait to listen to your music and your sister's music in the future as well. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much. You too. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
So guys, that was Romaine. I had a lovely time having a chat with her. She clearly has the right intentions, which is the most important thing when it comes to anything in life, having the right intentions. So please give her a follow. Send her a message if you thought anything was helpful. We need more positive messages, not messages that make us cringe and make us unhappy. But yeah, thank you so much, Romaine. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. I'll be taking a quick break, but I will be back in 15 minutes. Yo, Pisukana, shout out to Bill Gates. I said, dude, you are such a troll, man. I swear to God, I'll give you a nice knock on your head when I see you. Okay, everybody, have a good one. I'll be back in 14 minutes. We're going to have another guest coming on, and if you have some time, jump on board.